Okay, so everyone did their assignments that were assigned in the previous session. So let us start today. Today we will be doing a bit more on data types. We'll be learning various operators that are available in Python. We'll be learning about expressions, about functions, and also some basic knowledge on what are modules and how to use them. So let us first start with operators in Python. Okay, so what are all the operators that we can use in Python? So first of all, there is the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Then other than that, we also have the modulo operator and the float division operator. So let us find out how they work one by one. So suppose 2 plus 3, this gives us 5. Next we have the subtraction operator, like 3 minus 2, 1. Okay, then multiplication operator, and then the division operator. All right, here we need to we need a thing or two to find out. Like suppose, let us see, 6 by 5, so we get 1.2 as the answer. All right, if anyone is, or like they have practiced in C++ or Java, they would know like integers only provide integer answers or something like that. But in here Python, as we can see, the results can also be produced in floating point. That is automatic. The typecasting is done automatically. So suppose we need to get the answer as in integer type only or something like that for the division, then what we need to do is use the float division operator, like 6 by 5. So this is the float division operator, and as a result we will get 1 as the output. Okay, so here we go. And other than that, we also have the modulo operator. What the modulo operator does is it returns the remainder after the division. So 6 by 5, so 5 goes one time with for 6, and we should get the remainder as 1. So let us find out. Yeah, so 1 is the remainder. All right, so these are some of the standard operators that we have. Other than this, we also have, these were the arithmetic operators. Other than that, we also have the comparison operators, like less than, equal to, greater than, equal to, less than, greater than, equals, not equals. So let us find out how they work one by one. So first, let us do the equality checking. Suppose 1 equals to 1. So this should return as true. So let us find out by running it on the Python interpreter. So yeah, true. Next, we also have the inequality operator, inequality checking. So here inequality is represented as exclamation mark and equal sign, and then 1. This should return as false. Yeah, so false. Then we have the less than and greater than operators. So suppose 2 less than equal less than 3, this should return as true. Yeah, so this is also the greater than. Then we have greater than, equal to, and less than, equal to. All right, so this is what we have for the comparison operators. Now, other than these operators, we also have what are known as logical operators. So what are logical operators? Logical operators are operators like and, or, and not. So and is like, as we have studied in, or I guess everyone knows, like in Boolean algebra, how they work, how it functions for and or and not. In the same way it works here. So suppose 2 and 3. Now there is something known as truth value of any object in Python. So what is the truth value? This should be known. So truth value of some objects are set here as false. So like for integer, 0 has truth value of false. Truth value as false. For float, we also have 0.0 as has the truth value false. For the complex also, 0 plus 0j has truth value false. Then we have list. So empty list has truth value false. Empty string also has truth value false. And empty tuple also has truth value false. And empty dictionary also has truth value as false. So I guess we have discussed all the truth values that are being treated as false, and anything other than that, any other object has the truth value as true. So if we do something like this, like 2 and 3, we should get the result as true, because 2 and 2 gives us true. Now suppose let us do something more, like 2 and 0. Alright, so as we know, true and false should return us false. Let us find out. So 0, as 0 is false. Now this may not be very intuitive as the objects are being returned as they are. So let us use variables and store the truth that is true or false, that is booleans or truth values in them, then perform the comparisons as we proceed. So suppose expression equals to 2 less than 3, then this should have it, then expr should have its value as 2 less than 3. We have done it, yeah, so it should have true. So let us find it out. Now let us proceed a bit further. We will also be using the if expression, like we will be learning how to use the if statements. So if expr, if something, then print something. If anyone faces any problem somewhere, they can point it out, like they're facing some problem in understanding this particular part, we could discuss it here. So okay, so let us find out how this is working. So if expr, then do something. So this is the standard format of how if statements are written in Python. So first we write if, then we provide the expression that needs to be evaluated, then we write a colon, and then in the next line, that is the things that need to be done if that expression is being fulfilled. Those things we define, we write them after giving an indentation. So what does indentation means? Indentation means this spaces before, like the indentation has changed here. So like we provide 4 spaces, 1 2 3 4, and then we write something. One should be careful as not to interchange tabs and spaces much. It is preferable that if you use only 4 spaces for doing the indentation work in Python. That way you stumble less upon the errors that may arise due to interchangeably using tabs and spaces. Okay, so we have learned how the standard format for if statement. So now we have written within the if block that prints something. So something has been printed. So that means that the expression returned true. If true, so then the block is being executed and something has been printed. So let us try with false also. Like if, let us change the value that is there in expr. So expr equals to 2 greater than 3. So it will return false. All right, now the same thing. So nothing is being printed. So if false, so the if block is not being executed and we get, and so nothing is printed as a result. Now as we were doing the and or operators, so let us use them also. So like we have two expressions, so expr1 equals to 2 greater than 3 and expr comma expr2 equals to 3 2 less than 3. All right, this is how multi-valued expressions are being written in Python. So x comma y equals to a comma b. So a is assigned to x and b is assigned to y. All right, so let us now use the AND statement like expr1 and expr2, expr1 and expr2, and this gave us false. So true and false gives us false. Now let us use the OR, expr1 or expr2. So we get the result as true and false gives us true. And for the not operator, so not something, so not expr gives us expr1 gives us true because expr1 was false. All right, so now let us combine this with the if statement. So suppose if expr1 and expr2 do something, expr1 or expr2, then print do task. And as we know the result is true, so do task is being printed. So if true, then the block is being executed. So this is how the if statement works and how the operators work. I guess I have discussed most of the operators. Yeah, almost all of them. So yeah, yeah, what I didn't discuss, yeah, so the truth values for 0 and all the other elements for, sorry, all the other objects for which I said that the truth values were false, let us check them also. So like expr equals to 0 and let us check if it is true. If expr, then print do 1 and nothing is being printed. Now let us use the AND, sorry, let us use the NOT. Yeah, so this will mean that if not false, so not false is true. So if true, so do 1 should be printed. Let us find it out by executing. Yeah, so do1 has been printed. In a similar way, we can find out for tuple and dictionary and all the other things that I mentioned before. So like if an empty tuple is being declared, so like let it have one element. All right. Thing should be mentioned here, that is, for declaring a tuple with one element, we need to write the comma within the brackets, else it will be that else it will be detected by the Python interpreter as an integer object or some float object that has been means written within brackets for the evaluation purpose of the expression, and it will not be treated as a tuple. So let us find it out. First, let us write just expr equals to 1, and let's find out the type of expr. Type expr. So as we discussed, it is integer. Now if we just give a comma over here, then it will be shown as an tuple. So it is written as a tuple. Now as we were evaluating the truth values, so let us proceed with that. So suppose an empty tuple, truth value is false, so nothing is being done. Now the opposite, so do1 is being printed. Same applies for dictionary and list and string as well. So like empty dictionary, same thing, nothing is being printed. The opposite, do1 is being printed. So in this way we can find out for all of them. Also the empty string, that should be also be shown, I guess. Yeah, so empty string and the opposite, so do1 is being printed. All right, so I guess we have discussed most of the things for operators. And expression is anything that you uh, define in the program that is being referred when we use the word expression. And functions, okay, so we also have user defined functions in Python, but let us stick ourselves with the basic inbuilt functions that are provided built in with Python. So we have already used many functions over here, like print, that is a function. Let us find out how print works. So as we can see here, print takes in many parameters like value, comma value, comma value. Like this, we can take many parameters like do1, and if we provide again do2, so here we go. As we can see here, for the comma, a space is being printed. If we want to change what the separator should be, then what we need to do is mention the separator, that is sep equals to some what we want. Like if we want let us take something like whatever. Suppose this is the separator we wish to use, then let's find out. Yeah, so do1, then this separator is being placed, and then the next parameter is being printed. We also have what we can have at the end, that is print in general puts a new line character at the end of the string that is printed. So it will be difficult to find it out from here, as Python in the ideally it is being interpreted line by line. So let us use a new file, new. Okay, so suppose the same thing. Control V. Okay, we mention the end character to be blank, so this should result in the next line being printed with the above statement. So let us copy this, same thing, different values, and here we go. Let us save and run. Okay, so save, like, this is our fourth session. All right, we can overwrite it. Okay, so let us run this thing. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, so for the above statement, we have an empty string being defined as the ending character, and here we have defined nothing. So let us run and find out. Run module, and here we go. As we can see that after do 1 and do 2, no new line character has been printed. But if we change this, if we remove the end parameter from here, let us save and run it again. The shortcut for running a Python program is F5. Okay, so here we go. Here we find out that the new line character is being printed in normal with the that is the default parameter for end that is being defined. That is new line character. So we can change how things work from here, and also we have some other parameters for the print function. One is the file to which the output should be printed. In general, sys.stdout is being, that is the standard output device, is defined as the file to where Python should print its output. And also we have a flush parameter. So like we have a buffer before something is being written or being printed to the screen. So what happens is, let us use paint, it will be insightful that way. So like if we have the CPU over here, it provides some output. We have some buffer which stores this output before printing it, before it is being sent to the output device. Suppose output device OD, and here we have the buffer, and here from here we get the input, that is the CPU or whatever you wish to call it. So what we define by the setting the flush parameter is that after the print statement is being executed, nothing should remain in the buffer and everything should be written to the output device. Nothing should remain in the buffer, else the CPU might go to the next task and start executing it, whereas the previous results already remained in the buffer, and that could hamper the execution of a program. So we will discuss about this later on in the sessions when we will be learning the file handling and strings, how they are handled. So we will come to that later, but as for now this is just for information so that you can proceed with your learning. Okay, so we have also discussed the print function. We have also learned an inbuilt function, that is the input function that we have learned in the previous session. So input is also a built-in function that is used for taking the input. Apart from this, we also have other functions like suppose we want to do something like yeah, we could do something like we want to find out the square root. So let us move on to the next part, that is modules, and also learn some functions from it. So like import math, and then we find out the square root. Suppose print square root of 9, math dot sqrt 9. Let us save and run it. Okay, so F5, and we get the output as 3, as we find here. So what we did just now by import math is we have imported a module. Every file that we save can means in Python is referred to as being a module. So like suppose we have this third session, so it is basically a module. So like we write 2 programs within a directory. All right, I have already created an example for showing. Yeah, so suppose we have this folder. Within this folder we have 2 files, first and second. So when we are running the second.py file, if we want to call something from the first, or we want to execute, means call the first, we refer to first as being a module. So what happens? How do we do that? Okay, let us open the second.py file. Okay, so what we do here is from first import star. What this basically does is it imports everything from first. What does that mean? Okay, so like suppose we have something in first.py file. When we write this statement, what happens is everything okay, someone said something sep equals to this, the separator should always define in curly braces. No, uh, not necessary. Okay, we are running out of time. Okay, so what we do here is, as I was saying, everything gets executed. Whatever is there in first, everything gets executed. Then this second file is being run. So we could say like whatever we have written in first, it is similar to writing whatever we have written in first at the start of the second.py file. This is what from first import star does, in if we have to define it in general sense. There is also another form, that is import first. When we do this, uh, first is being executed, but a different namespace is being provided for any objects that are being declared in first. So let us run the previous version and then check the output. uh, just a second, the first file. Yeah, so what happened here? So here we have from first import star, so everything was imported. This statement was printed, this statement was printed, var1 was declared, var2 was also declared. Then we changed the value of var1 in second.py file. So let us do this from scratch, I guess. Let us close this and all. Yeah. So suppose this is the first.py file. We have statements in here. Let us use paint also. All right, so with import star, what we do is, suppose we have this first.py file and second.py file. When we do import from first, import star, then whatever is written here, it is similar to writing whatever is written here at the top of this file, or rather where we write this import from first import star statement. It is very much, it is similar to this thing. But when we do just import first, so like import first, then a namespace is being created over here, and if we want to access objects from this namespace, then we need to use first dot something. So like first has a some variable declared as var1 equals to 1. So if we want to use this, then we need to write first dot var1 and then use it for any operation that we wish to perform on it. And then so both the forms have been discussed. Okay, now next what we have is, yeah, so we can also import from folders. Like suppose a folder is being named second, then what we need to do is declare a blank file that is as, and name it as underscore underscore init underscore underscore dot py, and then we can import anything from that folder, any files existing within that folder easily. So what is the way that we can import it? So here we go, second.py file, we have done it. So yeah, so like import second dot third, so within the second folder we have third.py file, so that is being imported here, and it gets executed. So let us run this thing. Okay, so at first the first.py file gets executed, 2 lines done, then this 2 lines sorry, import second dot third, so this file should be executed. Let us find out what is there in this file, edit with ideally. Yeah, so this one line was present there, that is being executed. So this line is being executed for that reason. And then after that we have these 2 lines, these are being executed, 2 then something, 2 then something, and then we have print var1. Var1 has been redeclared as 3, so 3 is being printed, and then we have done the square root of 454. This was the result. What we can also do is we can convert this into an integer, and then we could use it. So for that we need to write like this int within brackets whatever we want to convert to integer. So like control S F5, yeah, so it has been converted to integer. These are the various ways that modules can be used. Apart within the math module, there are many other functions that have been defined. We could find out about them using the help option. Help. Alright, so these are all the functions that are available in math module: a cos, a tan, ceil, cos h, then floor, factorial, and all. You could explore them out. Then today's assignment would be find out the GCD of two numbers using the GCD function of math module, and also something something what should be, okay, find the value of sine 0. This will be our today's assignment.